All right, everyone. Here we are with ticker symbol GNUS, Genius Brands International Inc. Before I jump into this chart, I do want to state some things. And the first thing is, if you learn something new, subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and let me know you watched this video. And share this with your friends and community. Don't keep this insight just to yourself. Share this with your friends, all your group chats, and even the people that are considering to invest or want to learn more about investing. Share this with them. This is a very informative channel. That's my intended purpose here, and for all of us to learn and grow together. You guys are more than welcome to comment down below any information you would like to share or piggyback off of what I state, because that is key right there. I really appreciate that when you guys go out of your way so other viewers and other investors can go ahead and benefit from that information. As long as it's valuable, I encourage it, I support it, and I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and see some things here. So ideally, this right here will signify, right, for the most part, when a stock is acting like that it's slowly falling, and then it levels out on its own, um, right? And then there's a slight level off, right? In this type of form, and not a lot of movement, that there's about to be an opportunity of growth. And this ended July 1st like that, all the way up to July 2nd. July 2nd started the morning like that, and from there on out, there was a growth, exponential growth right there of opportunity for people to come in or people to sell or so forth. So there's a reason why I'm pointing this out before I go into the chart, and I'm going to explain that in just a second. So it's been very bearish. That level out started here, and the last jump that this happened was right here. It just went up from like 226 to 246. That was like a 20-cent jump. So that didn't really cause an effect yet. So this has been leveling out with a tug of war between the bears and the bulls. Okay. So here, and then it leveled out again, and then it jumped small, right? And then it leveled out again. So this back to back, right, of effect of very bearish move, and they're not coming in large amounts, it's just small, always indicates that there's about to be a jump, whether in the next day or in the next couple of days, right? Because it happened here, but that was it. It was only a 20-cent jump. Then it kept going, and then all of a sudden, it almost happened again. It hit 230, and it jumped up, 40 cents. Quickly fell back down because of sell-off, and here we are leveled out. But it's leveled out with the bulls, and that's what's interesting. Usually when it levels out with the bulls, right, any leveling out with the bulls tends to indicate something more along the lines of what we see here. Leveled out, right? Leveled out with the bulls, and then the bears appeared. The bears appeared. I'm not saying that that's going to completely be the trajectory of the next coming days, right? But the volatility of this is starting to slow down. I mean, if you go back here, there was a lot of up, real down, and then up, and then it was just down on its way. And then here, there was a lot of jumping, right? A lot of jumping, very steep, so forth, and it started falling from way up here. June was a big month for this stock, and then here we are, the beginning of July, starting with a big month again, and now it just hit a really steep fall, and it's kind of like leveled out itself, but it's bouncing between the leveling out. And now it's leveling out to the point where you could see that it kind of slowed down that afternoon. So I want to move this to their new positions, and it's going to be very broad. So I'm going to try to narrow this as much as possible. So obviously the price closed at 236. The true support level here to pay close attention to is 228. And the resistance level, due to this very, very, very steep fall, right? And very inclined upwards high, it creates a big window here of, wow, okay, so how do I pay attention to this? Because, resistance levels way up here, 273, right? Well, if we go a little bit back, right, we have 240. I'd write that down. That's like literally the first resistance level to pay close attention to. Just because that's broken doesn't signify that the bulls are gaining control. That's just something to watch, and if it's used as support. And the next one in between is 258. So 240, 258 are the points that you want to keep a close eye on, but doesn't mean that the bulls completely gain control over the stock again. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I do want you guys to have those points of reference in between so you can kind of break it down and say, okay, 240 was broken. Let's see how it's used as support. Oh, okay, it's getting closer. Oh, it broke through 258. Let's see how that's used as support. And once 258 is broken, that's really the point of the trajectory of how much is this going to get closer to 273, or is it going to work its way closer to 273 and get rejected somewhere up there at the 268 mark, at the 267, and so forth. And even if it gets rejected, since this is so broad, right, you still want to keep a very close eye on it because it can get rejected and fall to 262 and then start to work its way back up. So you really want to watch the behavior throughout the day. With you writing down those two numbers, at least you can kind of break this up into three sections. And ideally, that's not the way to look at a chart because you're going to be cutting and butchering it up. But since this is so broad, I do want you guys to have some points of reference. But for me to be honest with you, just because it breaks through the 50-day moving average, which is 237, does not mean that the bulls have gained control because of the fact of how volatile this was. The volatility here is immense. And then before that, it didn't even reach those numbers. So this is like the highest point it reached within what? The last like almost, yeah, the last like 5 days. Way back here. It was on its way down when it hit those numbers. So um, that's something that you want to break down and so forth. But to be realistic, the real turnaround here isn't the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is great, and it lets you know how bullish this can become and if the bulls are gaining control. But for the real bullish rally to start, or at least be significant, this 273 mark needs to be broken and used as support to break through new resistance levels. So just keep that in mind. The next thing is the support level. Why is the support level important? Well, it's below the 50-day moving average, number one. Number two, it's the lowest point that it reached in the day of that trading day. And number three, if that is broken, I'd keep a very, very close eye on it because now the bears are pulling this away from the 50-day moving average. Now, just because it's broken through doesn't mean that the bears have won or destroyed the chart because the bulls can take advantage of that price and bring this one back up. But the further away it moves from this, the more in control the bears are becoming. So I'd pay very, very close attention to that support level. That's That's honestly something to pay very much more attention, right? And I didn't say that correctly, but pay much more attention to it and pay very close attention, um, due to the fact that if that's broken through, it's moving further away from this, and this stock price closing at 236 is a lot closer to the support level than on its way to the resistance level. So this is going to be very interesting to see on Monday. I'd keep a very close eye on it. Can't stress that enough. I'm emphasizing that, and it's going to be one to watch and pay close attention to. As always, if you learn something new, subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, hit the like button for me and share this with your friends and community. Thank you for watching.